Okay guys, we got another countdown for you here. The top cross-country routes on Amtrak.
Today we're going to talk about the 5 major cross-country routes on Amtrak, kind of give you the pros and cons of them, rank them, tell you which one you should be going on, and give you some idea of a good choice for you. So to give you an overview before we start, the routes are going to be the California Zephyr, the Southwest Chief, the Empire Builder, the Coast Starlight, and the Texas Eagle, which is also the Sunset Limited. So jumping right into the big one, that is the California Zephyr, and that is our favorite route. So if you have a chance to do that, it's generally considered to be the prettiest route in America. And that's the one most people want to do if they want to do just one route. So that one's going to go from Chicago to Emeryville, California, which is basically right near San Francisco.
Right, just a bus ride away.
Yeah. So what are some of your favorite things about the coast or the California Zephyr route?
So the California Zephyr I love because it does traverse all the way across the country from east to west or west to east, depending on where you start. And it gives you a really good taste, in my opinion, of America. And probably the most stunning scenery you'll see is when you get into Colorado, just beyond Denver. If you're going west, you're gonna see some of the most beautiful gorges and rivers and mountains. I mean, it's just an unbelievable experience, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's a couple other things you'll see on the Zephyr, which is you will get to go through Moffett Tunnel. Yes. Which is there near the Continental Divide.
It takes you under it.
And you will get to go up to Donner Pass and see Donner Lake, which is where, you know, the Donner Party became famous in American history. Yeah. So the California Zephyr has tons to offer. You do see so many different parts of the country because you start in Chicago, you go all the way through the Midwest. It takes kind of a, not total northern route, but kind of a central route through, which is going to take you right through the Rocky Mountains. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful way to do it. So the great thing about that route is that it does connect to Chicago on one end, as I said, San Fran on the other. So from there, you have a connection to go either north to Seattle, south to LA. Right. And from Chicago, you can really go anywhere.
You can go in any direction from Chicago, obviously, because it's such a big hub. You can, you know, go anywhere.
Now, one that people generally compare that to is the Southwest Chief, which is our second route. And if you're riding on the Southwest Chief, you're going to be going from Chicago again to LA. So it is a little bit different, and then it takes a more southerly route to LA. And we noticed, because we did this by car, basically this route last year, that this route follows Route 66, basically.
Correct.
Through the west part of the country. So, what were some of the best cities that we stop at on the Southwest Chief?
Well, honestly, some of my favorite Route 66 towns are in New Mexico and Arizona, and we go right through quite a few of those, from Gallup and, you know, and through Albuquerque and over into Arizona. We get to see, you know, Winslow and Williams and all the way over to Kingman. So you see quite a few, and actually into California you get into Needles as well. So it's really remarkable, I think, how you can see that on the Southwest Chief. So while the California Zephyr has the amazing scenery going through Colorado and through those gorges, the Southwest Chief gives you like that taste of Americana. As we follow along Route 66 on the west side of the country.
And one thing I'll say, people always ask, is it good to get off the train? And generally it's not good to get off. It's good just to do the train ride. If there was one you were going to get off and spend a few days, it would be the Southwest Chief, because when you get over to Arizona to Kingman, you're close to Las Vegas. You can do all the Route 66 stuff. There is a lot to see on there, and you can't really see it from the train.
Right.
So that is one where I would recommend, if you want to get off and rent a car for a few days, then get back on and keep going. that's probably the one to do it on.
Right. Yes, that's always a good point. People do always want to know, should we get on and off? But I do think ideally these train rides were made for the most part to go from terminus station to terminus station.
Exactly. So probably the most underrated of the cross-country routes is going to be the Empire Builder. And it is the most northern route. And it's underrated because it doesn't get ridden as much.
Right.
But it is beautiful. And it's going to take you from Chicago to Seattle or to Portland.
Yes, and I think where people get the misconception that it's not scenic is they're thinking, well, you're not really going through anywhere, but you are, because I think that those northern states in the middle section of the U.S. really get overlooked. There's a lot to see there. I mean, riding through Montana, I was really blown away because you think to yourself, well, what is there to see in Montana? Look, they call it Big Sky Country for a reason, and it's absolutely really quite gorgeous. The colors there are beautiful, and just the way that you see the sky there as well. There's really just so much to see on this route. But one of the most beautiful parts of it is either arriving or leaving from Seattle. You do get to see Puget Sound, and it will blow your socks off.
Yeah, if you wanted to see Glacier National Park, this is the route to take. Also, you do kind of skirt the park on the train. You won't go like right through it. You will have some views, but not like...
You see the one of the entrances, you go right next to one of the entrances, but not one that you would go in.
Yeah, so it is beautiful, and it puts you right in that area. You do also pass through North Dakota, so it's a great one to go on if you want to stop at some of those northern national parks that really nobody visits because they're really hard to get to. So it is probably the most underrated cross-country one.
I agree.
Now this next one is the only one that goes north to south on this list, and that is the Coast Starlight.
Yes. Now the Coast Starlight is a special train. Some of the views that you get to see from this train, you won't get to see anywhere else. And just the terminus stations, it's amazing as well. There's just so much about this one in particular that is such a great experience. But the greatest thing about it is, of course, the reason why it's called the Coast Starlight is because it goes along the coast and you get to see the Pacific Ocean. But you don't just get to see it like from far away. It's literally right outside your window. Yeah,
it is. You are right on top of it. And it is something to behold because you can't get that close to water. I was shocked that they even made the train tracks that close.
Yes.
So a beautiful, beautiful ride through the Pacific Ocean, and you can see everything you want to see there. Now, the next one is going to be the Texas Eagle, which is also the longest train route. So if you want to be on a very long train route, that's the one to take. You're going to spend the most time on the train of any train, Texas Eagle. It also takes you, it's the same as the Southwest Chief, from LA to Chicago. It just takes a longer route to get there, going down through Texas and going out. So
yes, it takes the long way because it loops around and then comes across.
So if you're going round trip Chicago to LA, just take each one of them and you'll have two different trips. That's a great thing that a lot of people do. Instead of taking the Southwest Chief both ways, take one way and one the other way. So Texas Eagle will be some of that same scenery as you get out west, but going through Texas, it kind of is the exact same route as the Sunset Limited.
Right.
So that's another one that people like to go on, but we don't mention that here because the Sunset Limited and the Texas Eagle.
Well, they meet up and become one train in Texas. And so while the Sunset Limited is coming from New Orleans across, the Texas Eagle's coming down from Chicago, they meet up in Texas, they put several of the cars together, and you continue to move on. So whichever car you're in, you're going to stay there. Nothing's going to change for you other than you're just going to have more cars linked together as you all then continue the journey on together across the country. And also the Texas Eagle is going to take you on the southernmost route, while the Empire Builder is taking you on the most northern route. The Texas Eagle Sunset Limited are taking you on the most southern route. As a matter of fact, it's so southern that you're hugging the line with Mexico. You're literally looking at the border right outside your window as you're zipping through. You're looking at Mexico and at the United States at the same time.
If you do want to visualize how these routes look like, we do have maps on our website, groundandlifetravel.com, and you can see all the different routes, see how you could connect them. One thing people want to know is they want us to rank them, so I'm going to do that right now real quick.
All right.
Just which one I would go on if I had the choice. Number one would be the California Zephyr. I think that's by far the prettiest route. Number two would be close. I think I would choose the Empire Builder, but right behind it would be the Coast Starlight.
Definitely, those are real close, those are almost real close. Tied.
Number four would be the Southwest Chief, and number five would be the Texas Eagle. So those are kind of how we would rank them if you're picking them as a vacation and you've never been on one. That's the order we would do them in to get the best views and the best ride for your dollar. So we hope you've enjoyed learning about all the different routes and seeing where they go. If you've been on some of these, definitely give us a comment below. Tell us which one you've been on, which one you want to go on in the future, and we hope to see you on the rails soon.